Binance gets sued by the CFTC, and then that impacts a Voyager bankruptcy. We also got Coinbase is also getting sued. And there's some updates with the Custodia bank who is suing the Federal Reserve. It's been a crazy week. Welcome back to How About That Crypto. I'm your host, Bitcoin Stylist. This is where we talk about crypto and Web3 news and updates. Don't forget, this is not financial advice. You can use the links below to do your own research. Okay, so I'm gonna just dive right in. I mean, it's been crazy, and I mean, it's just like you can't make this stuff up. Like, where in the world could who would have ever thought that it would have come out so obviously that the government is, the administration and the federal regulators are attacking crypto like this. I mean, it's like I say, don't pay too close attention to crypto news because someone's going to call you a conspiracy theorist. It's easy to call someone a conspiracy theorist when you pay attention to the news because the mainstream media doesn't really report on the news in detail. So let's just dive right in. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and use a link. You can use the links below to do your own research. And I am, on the conspiracy theory note, I am just going to give you the news and my interpretation. You can decide what you think. Okay, so this is an article by Nicholas D., Jack Schickler, Oliver Knight, Jesse Hamilton, and Sheehan Ligon, and it's on CoinDesk, and it's titled "Binance CEO Zhao sued by CFTC over willful evasion of U.S. laws, unregistered crypto derivative projects." The CFTC alleged Binance offered unregistered crypto derivatives products and directed U.S. customers to evade compliance controls through the use of VPNs. I think if this whole idea that about like Binance, Binance is a major exchange. They account for over 50% of all crypto trades in the world. And they're run by one individual person. There is a lot of concern about him, like whether or not him being of Chinese descent is an issue. I think that when you listen to this and read about this stuff, then you start to think that maybe it has nothing to do with it. Maybe Binance is the company that we need to get the world into adoption of cryptocurrency. I don't know, but it also creates a single point of failure because 50% of the trades, if it turns out that there's some shady stuff going on, some FTX stuff going on, then we could all be in trouble, and that could really bring the market down. You think FTX was a big deal, then you don't know anything about Binance. So I'm a little weary when it comes to centralized entity. I am in crypto for decentralization, not for centralization. So I just want to put that out there. However, this also, we also gotta try to support each other during this process of bringing crypto and digital assets, blockchain technology, NFTs, smart contracts, Web3 into the world. So tread lightly, but keep an open mind. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit here that says that talks about what's exactly happening. The U.S. Commodities Future Trading Commission sued crypto exchange Binance and founder Changpeng Zhao Monday on, I hope I said that right, Monday on we call him CZ. Monday on allegations the company knowingly offered unregistered crypto derivatives projects. The lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court of the Northern District of Illinois on Monday alleged that Binance operated a derivatives trading operation in the U.S., offering trades for cryptocurrencies including Bitcoin, Ether, and Litecoin, Tether, and Binance USD, which is referred to as commodities. If you don't know why that is funny, then it's because the SEC is going around calling all these other coins securities, everything except for Bitcoin. And the CFTC is suing because of, but calling these things commodities. It's just laughable. It's like, Don't you think before they file any lawsuits, they should figure out which is which? I mean, otherwise, it's like, what what is going on? Like, how can anybody say that there's clarity in the markets when this kind of stuff is going on? I think if you think there's clarity, then please, I want you to come on the show and we're going to hash this out, because I have a big question for you. What is the difference between Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies? Not the crypto folk. I want to know from a regulatory perspective, how are the other coins and the other digital assets different than Bitcoin? What is it about Bitcoin that enables the feds to call it to call it a commodity, the SEC to call it a commodity, but say everything else is probably security? Well, how? There's got to be a differentiating factor. They can't just, like, in my emotions, say that Bitcoin is a commodity and everything else is security. That's not how federal regulations work. Now, if that's what's happening, then that is unconscionable. And I hope that there's something done about that through the courts and the laws. So I think that's what's happening here, is we're getting all these lawsuits, and we just gotta hope that things kind of play out. We get judges that are not biased. And anyway, so that I thought was super funny, and we're just gonna continue to keep an eye out on exactly what's going on with this lawsuit. But the feds are going after everybody in crypto. Okay, so as a result of this lawsuit being filed by the CFTC, judge halts Voyager Digital's $1.3 billion sale to Binance.us. This is on Reuters. And so this is a problem because, a lot of us have money tied up, and the federal judge dismissed the DOJ and the SEC from when they wanted to stop this bankruptcy deal. And now it says the federal judge on Monday temporarily stopped bankrupt Voyager Digital from completing a proposed $1.3 billion sale to crypto exchange Binance.us, allowing the U.S. government more time to pursue appeals that challenge the legality of the deal. This is very upsetting because we just had the judge say, no, you can't halt it because no charges have been brought. And it says they argue that protections could, let's see. U.S. District Judge ruled Monday that the sale should be put on hold, overruling Voyager's argument that the delay could cause Binance to back out of the deal. So there you go. Looks like we thought we had a win there, and we did not. It says the CFTC disputed that in its lawsuit, alleging that Binance personnel dictated Binance.us's corporate strategy, launch, and early operations, that it has an ongoing relation with BAM Trading, a company controlled by Binance CEO. So the CFTC came out. So the DOJ came out, the SEC came out and said, no, stop this. We don't like this. And the judge was like, no, you haven't given clarity, SEC, and the DOJ, you haven't filed charges. We're not going to wait. And then the CFTC filed these charges. So there we go. Another stick to us. I had money on Voyager, not a little bit of money either. Okay, moving on. I would like to hear anybody else had these issues, had money on Voyager, and how you feel about that. Okay, the next story is Coinbase. This is an article by Alexander Osipovich and Dave Michaels, and it's on Wall Street Journal, titled SEC Plans Lawsuit Against Coinbase According to Exchange. Regulator believes largest U.S. crypto exchange violated investor protection laws. So as Coinbase, if you don't know, is the largest crypto exchange in the U.S., and they're considered the gold standard for compliance and front facing. And this is kind of weird. It says, so it says here, the Coinbase said it received a SEC note. So, oh my gosh, sorry. Coinbase said it had received a letter from the SEC known as a Wells Notice, in which regulators say they believe companies or individuals violated investor protection laws. The notices aren't final because the agency's commissioners must authorize any lawsuits or enforcement settlements. So Wells Notice is saying, hey, we're going to sue you, and I believe it usually says why. Now, if I scroll down here, it says the notice concerns several aspects of Coinbase's business, including assets listed on its crypto exchange, its staking service, Coinbase Earn, and its wallet services. So Coinbase Earn never took off, so I don't know what this is about. But I guess, Coinbase Earn, that was Coinbase Lend, sorry. So if you remember, Coinbase tried to do a lending protocol and the SEC said, no, we'll sue you. And Brian Armstrong got all upset. He was probably all upset because all these other companies were providing lending services and giving high yield, and he was losing market share, but then it all imploded. So he's probably thinking, oh, yeah, he's not talking about, oh, I'm glad the SEC stopped me from doing that. I'm just trying to keep it real here. I'm not trying to like shill anything. You know where I stand on things. I'm trying to be kind of open-minded about like the angle from the government, because I do think that it's obvious with what happened with FTX that we need regulation. I'm sorry, like it does. I mean, everything could go into DeFi, and I guess maybe that's what some of the maxis would say. But if the masses are going to come in, you're going to need centralized places like this that are going to custody, not commingle funds, etc., which means you need regulation. So if you want mass adoption, then unfortunately you want regulated centralized entities participating in this space. Tell me if you disagree with me. I just don't see any other way in which we see crypto proliferate throughout the world in a big way. I think that's the process. Anyway, tell me if you disagree. So it says here, the lawyer, chief legal officer, Paul Grewal, says, we are prepared for this disappointing outcome and confident in the legality of our assets and services. If needed, we welcome a legal process to provide the clarity we have been advocating for and to demonstrate that the SEC simply has not been fair or reasonable when it comes to its engagement of digital assets. So the most important part of this whole article, in my opinion, is right here. Let me just find it. So basically, where is it? So basically the SEC approved Coinbase to go public about a few years ago, and here it is. Coinbase went public on NASDAQ in April 2021, a market debut that appeared to be a major mainstream endorsement of crypto and fueled a big run-up in the price of Bitcoin. The company noted in its blog post Wednesday that the SEC signed off on its registration statement at the time, its staking exchange business, and remained largely the same since then. So Coinbase is trying to argue that, hey, like when we filed, we told you exactly what our lines of business are. So this earn, the staking, and the wallet services, like you knew about that when you approved us. And we had a comprehensive process to determine if crypto assets were securities or not, and before we listed them, and you signed off on everything. Now, I did read an interesting point saying that the SEC doesn't actually look into that kind of stuff when they're registering you. And so I guess we'll just see how this all plays out. What I do know is that I would love to see a lawsuit. I just don't like the fact the lawsuit's going to take forever. However, maybe that's what we need. No, what we actually need is Congress to do their job and pass some regulation, because this is ridiculous. We're going to be tied up in lawsuits, and we're just going to get super screwed. Us, you and me, the normal, regular retail investor who just want to be able to put their money in places and that we believe are going to be valuable in the future or are currently valuable. And instead, the federal government, the banking system, regulators are just trying to keep an incumbent who has had a monopoly over a specific industry for over 100 years. The Federal Reserve Act of 1913 created a virtual monopoly of the banks over our financial system. All the banks are members of the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve is a private entity. It is not a government organization. Look it up. Go on their website. It says it right on the front page. So that's what we're dealing with, folk. This is not anything other than an incumbent trying to stay in power. All right, last story of the day. There's an update on Custodia Bank lawsuit. So Custodia Bank got denied for ties with the crypto market. to get a account with the Fed. If you have an account with the Fed, you get direct access to money. You don't have to use third parties to process and settle big transactions. It reduces your costs, and it gives you a little bit more agility to deal with fluctuations in the markets. And there's like a long article, I'll put link in here. It basically says that it took like 2 years, something that usually takes a few days, and to get denied. And if you go over here, you have another denial, which is an 86-page report, which is 14 times longer than any other it says, here you go. The Fed's report is 14 times longer than its previous longest denial order and 41% longer than the Fed's longest order on any subject. In late January, the Fed denied a membership request from Custodia Bank, as well as a second application in February, claiming that its application was inconsistent with required factors in the law. Basically, Custodia Bank says they're being singled out because they're in crypto. It took too long, and it says here that the Federal Reserve believes that basically that they don't have proper risk management in place. So come back, work on that and come back to us. And Custodia Bank's like, no, like, you're singling us out. That can't be legal. So we're filing a lawsuit. Well, then the lawsuit, once the lawsuit was filed, the Federal Reserve said, okay, here's your denial. So now you can get rid of this lawsuit because we answered you. And the judge said, no, you can't just do that. There's something here. So we're going to allow things to kind of move forward. So we're going to keep an eye on that. This 86-page report, it details why they got denied. And so far, as far as we know, this has not changed anything to do with the lawsuit. So I don't know. I just want things to go to court, but at the same time, if Congress acts, then we should be able to avoid all of this. So anyway, that's your update. It's been a pretty hectic, active week, and between Binance, Voyager settlement being halted, the SEC going after Coinbase. I mean, that's probably the biggest news out there. So yeah, let me know what you think. As far as where I stand, I am just continuing to slowly buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I'm buying some Uniswap because I think decentralized exchanges, I think a lot of this is an endorsement for decentralized DeFi. So I think there might be something there. I'm not really sure what the next narrative is. It's going to bring in a bunch of money, but when the banks started crashing, a lot of people moved money into Bitcoin. And so if we continue to see strains in the banking sector, and coupled with friendly environments around the world to crypto, like the EU, the UK, Hong Kong, there's a lot of news coming out of Asia that once Hong Kong opens up, and they create their clarity and rules, there's going to be so much money coming from mainland China and through Hong Kong into crypto. That could be the next catalyst. So I'm not a trader, so I like to dabble and speculate a little bit, but no more than 20% of my entire portfolio. That might be a lot for some of you, but the other 80% is me buying things that I believe I'm just going to buy a little bit at a time and hold, because I think they're good investments. What are you doing? Let me know. Leave a comment below. Hodl on.